In 1985, Barack Obama, a few years out of Columbia, wanted to make his impact on the world. He sent resumes to dozens of community organizations. He got just one response.
What was it like when you first saw him?
There were lots of reasons to be skeptical of somebody who was 24 who wanted to do this work.
Jerry Kelman's Developing Communities Project, a charity that worked with Chicago's poor, needed a community organizer. He invited Obama for coffee.
This was a young man who wanted to be involved in the civil rights movement, but he was somewhere between 10 or 15 years too young.
The civil rights movement had an enormous impact on my imagination. Reading about people who were at that time not much older than me, who had gone to jail and suffered beatings in order to liberate a people and give life to America's ideals. I thought that there's something powerful about that.
Obama moved to this apartment on Chicago's South Side to establish a connection with the black community and to be closer to the people he wanted to serve.
I thought to myself, this is how you can forge a community for yourself, by working in that community and making sacrifices on behalf of that community.
We paid him $10,000.
A year?
A year. And they needed a car. So I gave him $2,000.
Obama bought a beat-up Compact and started to explore. What he saw was a black community suffering from years of government neglect and record unemployment.
On the elevator, have you voted?
Chicago elected its first black mayor, Harold Washington. But like many big cities in America, Chicago was racially divided. Many white Chicagoans were outraged that a black man was in charge.
Congratulations, Mr. Mayor.
Barack Obama's job was to help Chicago's forgotten residents learn to help themselves. Reverend Alvin Love.
Remember that at that time in Chicago, the wards were, really politically motivated. And if you weren't on board with the political process or the people in leadership, then your garbage didn't get picked up on time. Your street didn't get fixed.
Obama had taken to walking his neighborhood like a cop on the beat. Along the way, he spotted Reverend Love's church, Lilydale First Baptist.
And this guy walks up, rings the doorbell, and says, "My name's Barack Obama. Can I talk to you for a few moments?" And in the back of my mind, I'm wondering, what does this guy want?
What Obama wanted was to organize Chicago's South Side pastors to better help their own communities. It was during this period that Obama joined the Reverend Jeremiah Wright's Trinity Church. It was the church to join if you wanted to be one of Chicago's black movers and shakers. Reverend Wright was a believer in the idea that religion could be used to fight racism. But years later, their relationship would backfire.
What people don't understand about the period of time is that the issues that he talked to Jeremiah Wright about were how to get kids summer jobs, how to improve the local public schools. They were very much grassroots kind of issues.
Working together in what Obama called God's Army, entire congregations now turned out for ward meetings.
Barack's job was to build the organization, and he did a good job on bringing in churches.
Loretta Herron was active in the community. Along with several other women, they became foot soldiers for Obama. They also tended to mother him, earning them the nickname Obama's Mamas.
I felt so protective of him. Are you eating right? Are you getting enough rest?
Did he listen to you?
I doubt it.
Yvonne Lloyd was also one of Obama's mamas.
He always stayed in the background. And he'd always tell us, this is your community. If I go out front, people are going to say, who is he?
Obama made Loretta Herron his point person for a desperately needed job center for the community. Herron ran into trouble at a meeting with city officials.
The director was really talking over me, and she had that high-handed attitude about, well, you don't even know what I do, and whatever, you know. And I was trying to get a word in edgewise without being really disrespectful.
Heron says when Obama saw her struggle, he spoke up.
He started calling. He said, let Loretta speak, you know, in that voice of his. And so people kind of picked it up, you know, and so she backed down.
The residents got their job center. Mayor Washington came to the opening and complimented Loretta's work. Obama beamed.
He taught us to speak for ourselves. He gave us the strength that a lot of people never gain. You know, to this day, I am an empowered person.
It was fine living here. I had a few run-ins with some of the management.
Linda Randall lived here at the Altgeld Garden Housing Project, which was surrounded by toxic waste dumps. The apartment buildings themselves were filled with asbestos. Randall alerted Obama to the problem. His army of everyday citizens went to work. It started when Randall alerted Obama to a problem.
Two guys in white suits came out, and they had these little glass things on their faces, so I knocked on one of them's glass thing. And I asked them, I said, what are you all doing? And they told me, said, we're removing asbestos.
But the city only planned to remove asbestos from the management office, not from residents' apartments.
He took it on as an issue of injustice. Was that?
Well, because it was. Here are people living with small children. Some of them we found had been eating part of the asbestos.
Eventually, Obama's army forced the housing authority to clean it up, but it took years. The slow pace was Barack Obama's undoing as a community organizer.
Things weren't moving fast as the way he felt they should. And that does frustrate you when you've put your whole heart and soul and everything that you're doing, and it seems like everybody else is dragging their feet. It does frustrate you.
After 3 years in Chicago, Obama decided to leave.
And I would watch him in the trainings and in meetings, and I knew he was not ours just to keep.
When we come back, Barack Obama learns the truth about the father who left him.